Hi everyone, my name is Roman, I'm head of commercial department. Today I'll tell you about the evolution of Expert SDR and about its future. The first version of Expert SDR 2 was published in 2011. In 9 years of its existence, a lot has changed and improved. Software functionality was significantly expanded to meet the expectations of various ham groups. Back then, Expert SDR 2 worked only with Windows XP and Windows 7. Now it's adapted to Windows 10, Linux and macOS. This means that each release consists of 4 versions for 5 devices, plus version for MB1. In total, it's 21 versions overall. The only devices we were manufacturing in 2011 were SunSDR 1 and SunSDR 2. By 2020, our product lineup consists of 4 transceivers, 2 receivers and a set of accessories. Obviously, in the future we plan to expand it even further. Expert SDR 2 from the start was developed with OpenGL in mind. It allowed us to use graphics cards to display GUI, leaving CPU to deal with other tasks, lowering its load. In 9 years, OpenGL changed a lot. New versions brought new functionality, which we actively use today. The fact that we used it allowed us to adapt Expert SDR 2 for Linux and macOS. We began the development of Expert SDR 2 using a cross-platform Qt4 development environment. Simply saying, Qt is a set of blocks used to create software. For example, blocks of COM port, local network, file management, etc. In 2017, we moved to a new Qt5, which allowed us to support macOS and current versions of Windows 10 and Linux. In 2011, there were mostly HD and Full HD monitors, thus the GUI you use now was developed with Full HD and monitors in mind. In time, 4K displays grew more and more popular, and a couple of years ago we've added a 4K mode for such displays. When we released the first remote software prototype in 2017, the general feedback was, it's useless, no one needs it. Do the main Expert SDR 2 software, do not split your resources. Now it's in a very high demand, just 3 years past. The Expert remote system is independent software that is being developed separately from Expert SDR 2 and has its own fans. It works with all our devices, supports voice and CW transmission. This system has 2 server applications for PC and Raspberry Pi and 2 control interfaces, Expert RC and Web Client. Expert RC looks similar to the main software, and Web Client is basically a web page, which can be used on phones and tablets. Our biggest pride is the functionality of Expert SDR 2. Most features we have now were wishes and suggestions before, and in time they became an important part of the software. All this led to the fact that Expert SDR 2 grew into a big and versatile software which meets the requirements of professional contesters, DXmen, ESSB enthusiasts and day-to-day operators. Some features we added were truly revolutionary, like TCI protocol and processing menu. TCI significantly improves the connection routine between Expert SDR 2 and third-party software. The list of software with TCI support includes 13 different applications. The whole list you may find on our website. Processing menu allows you to adjust your own voice signal the way it was possible only with professional equipment. As you can see, so many things have changed over the years. Expert SDR 2 has changed as much as the world around it. At the same time, we were thinking about the future. What is the most efficient way to continue software development and how can we improve it? This year, we're making the biggest leap in Expert SDR history. We began the development of the new generation of SDR software, Expert SDR 3. We used all the experience we've gathered during the development of the second version and mixed it with the new technologies. It allowed us to significantly fasten the development process. First, the biggest advantage of Expert SDR 3 is that it's based on the model architecture used among the best software developers like Google and Yandex. It makes the implementation of new features much easier in comparison to the second version, because it should be done once for all devices. Expert SDR 3 is a single software which is used with all our devices. It means single installer, single launcher, single core. Only particularities of a certain hardware will define differences of the GUI. Also, integrating a new device in the software will be easier and faster. Second, Expert SDR 3 is being developed for Windows, Linux and macOS from the beginning. Thus, development for all OS is simultaneous. In case of Expert SDR 2, we create and test the Windows version and only then transfer changes into the macOS and Linux. Third, programmers should love this part. Expert SDR 3 is being developed on the latest version of Qt5 libraries and utilizes all their capabilities. Here we use QML technology instead of outdated widgets. it greatly fastens the development of the various GUIs like MB1 GUI or GUI for newbies and professionals we plan to implement in the future. All that was impossible with ExpertSDR2 since Qt4 it was based on lacked this functionality. This year Qt5 will be replaced with Qt6 libraries. We've prepared ExpertSDR3 for this transition, thus it will be fast and smooth. Qt6 brings a lot of changes, such as the complete version of the Qt QML technology for the development of the GUI. Also, QML allows us to use native graphical resources of each OS out of the box. DirectX for Windows, Metal for macOS, and Vulkan API for Linux. You won't have to worry about video drivers with OpenGL support. A bit of context. Vulkan API, new Universal Graphics Standard, was presented in 2015. Since then, OpenGL is basically considered an outdated standard. In time, it will be completely replaced by Vulkan API. Apple was the first who officially declared that eventually they plan to cease OpenGL support and replace it with Metal. It means ExpertSDR2 won't work on macOS at all. This change was one of the main factors for us to move to the new software generation. ExpertSDR3 has native support of touchscreen displays, so if you have a notebook with touchscreen, you can use it to control ExpertSDR3. Also, it has native support of high-res monitors and scaling capability, which allows you to adjust the size of the software window for your personal liking. Fourth, ExpertRC and ExpertRS will be part of the ExpertSDR3. It means that software development will be simultaneous for both local and remote applications. More information about that will be revealed after further development later this year. Fifth, another advantage of the ExpertSDR3 is that it can effectively use modern CPUs, loading all available CPU cores equally. Sixth, Transverter, ALC and Duplex will be part of the first official public release of the ExpertSDR3. We know that numerous hams have been waiting for these features to be implemented in ExpertSDR2, so we decided to make them available in the first official release version. Seventh, also I want to mention that we began the development of the new firmware for all our devices. It's also based on the model architecture, thus most of it is common for all devices, which greatly fastens the development process. This exact new firmware brings Duplex and prepares the foundation for pre-distortion afterward. Eighth, and last but not least, I should say that ham radio world also has changed in the last 9 years. There are new popular digital modes like FT4, FT8, WSPR, etc. We'll implement digital modems in ExpertSDR3, so they are going to be an integral part of the software. These modems will share information with loggers via TCI. As you understand, it allows you to cut some third-party applications from your setup, which greatly simplifies it, leaving you more time to enjoy operation. I hope you liked our presentation. This November we'll start accepting requests for the closed beta test. The release of the first official version is planned for the first quarter of 2021. The new software is compatible with all the devices we currently manufacture. Please share your thoughts in the comments below. It's really important to us. Take care and see you in the next videos.